Greetings, this is Aten with We Love TTRPGs. To give you an idea of just how long I've been doing this and show you what's involved with old school game prep, I thought I would show you some of my old binders, some of the prep I used to do, some of the maps, some of the adventure design. So here is a big stack of old folders. Of course, today we have computers to store all this information, but back in the olden days, we used to use notebooks. So I'm going to show you some old Advanced Dungeons & Dragons character sheets, some of my old maps, some of my homebrew world creation. So stay tuned. I hope you like the video. If this kind of content interests you, please give it a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future uploads. All right, let's get down to it. In some of my videos, you may be familiar with this big map I have hanging on the wall. This is my homebrew world of Teratu. With first edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, I exclusively used the world of Greyhawk. It was after Gary was ousted, pushed out of TSR, that I decided I no longer wanted to be dependent on published game world material. So that's when I began creating my own world. The world of Teratu, the name Teratu is like Terra 2. It was inspired by Gygax calling his world Orth, which is kind of like Earth. This picture here is the original drawing that I made back in 1989. This is where the entire thing started, just from this little picture right here. Before I show you my DM folders with mapping, let me just show you some old school character sheets and how we used to keep our information. So we would use these cheap little binders like these little folders. You get them for 25 cents or something at the store at the time. And here, this player taped a little envelope in here to keep the index cards, because I would write things on index cards like items. For example, they found a robe of blending and have the powers written on the back side of it. The character sheets themselves were also unique just for my own campaign world. If you look in the top right corner, it says age, modifiers, and then actual. That's because in original Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, there were plenty of ways to have your age modified through either a curse or a monster attack like a banshee would age you 10 years, or casting some spells would age you. So let's just look through a few of these to get an idea. We'll go on, see this character. This player drew a picture of his character. He kept a calendar. Timekeeping is very important. My old campaigns, still is today. The reason we would do this is we would often have a lot of homebrew rules back then. These character sheets had a lot of homebrew stuff on here. I used to have a thing, you see here, it says character. You can see here in the top right corner, it says character points. And that was essentially like inspiration points. But I was using it back in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition. You could use one of these points to reroll a dice anytime during the game. There's his Star Wars character. I will be doing a video about the Star Wars role-playing game. The old map of the game world. Cyrus. Oh, it's like, this is his character background that he wrote. All in here. More character background here. It's like some time keeping track. So you can see back even in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, we were very, at least my campaigns were very focused on story and character development. Old school maps, of course, doing on the hex paper. I would just simply describe what they see and they would have to draw it. Their maps might be incorrect, of course, because I would just say, 10 feet to your right, 20 feet turn, I would just give like dimensions. And then if we ran into combat, then I had a battle map that I would use. And then we would put them in that room. But otherwise it was left up to them to map the spaces they move through. So you could get lost in a dungeon and have trouble finding your way back out again. Look at that, Thaco, or Thaco, however you want to describe it. To hit armor class 0, of course. Some personal history in this character. This was a, what is this? This was from 1999. This was a little picture I had done. We had taken a little break, and I drew a little picture, kind of like a collage of different events that had taken place in the campaign previously prior to our break. Yeah, what I wanted to show you was this. Here. So some of the character sheets would have these, and it'll allow you to put your items in here with the index cards. And then again, the picture of the item is here. And then on the back, it would say what it was. This was a way we used to keep track of stuff back then. Here. This is for original Spelljammer. Yeah, this is for their Spelljammer ship. So Advanced Ninja Dragons 2nd edition Spelljammer. Oh yeah, look at that. And then I know I looked in this just a minute ago. Here, Dennis, one of my oldest friends. I noticed that he had a lot of maps in his folder. So this is an example, again, of how I would give descriptions of things, and they would etch them out. I think this is tracing paper, so they must have had graph paper underneath it. And I think this all comes from, I'm pretty sure, let me grab this off my shelf here. All of these maps are from when I was putting them through the Greyhawk Ruins adventure. Again, because I loved, yeah, this is all the levels from that. Very, very big. Sort of like basically, look at all the levels for this thing. Basically the original Mad Mage. Those character sheets were from different disjointed adventures and smaller campaigns. This here is from Darren. He was a member of a 5-year campaign that I run through, I think 94 to 99. This is how long this thing lasted. And you can see that his character sheet is significantly larger with much more information packed into it. All of the notes throughout those 5 years, all kept inside of here. This was one of his hirelings, I think, or henchmen. Yeah, this was his guard that he ended up hiring. And then we used this, the Sentinel. It was an NPC class. Dragon Magazine used to have these little NPC classes, which were essentially just play testing for potentially new classes that didn't quite work out. So here we had, again, magic items kept inside the folder. His spell book. He was a wizard in the party. All the spells. You can see here how so much information, bunch of background notes. A lot of these are probably handouts that I gave them over the course of the adventure, or previous session summaries. Just so much information from 5 years of play. So this, something I've been trying to remember. So this confirms it. Apparently I did run them through Expedition of the Barrier Peaks, because he had at least one grenade still from that. I tell you, I don't really, we did so much in those 5 years. Some of that I don't remember. Pictures, the bracers. Different items. This was probably, no, it's a feathered fan. I vaguely remember that. So you can see a scroll case. All the different items. So, you know, you talk about how you have attunement with 5e and a limited number of magic items. Look at this. So many magic items. But characters back then were much, much weaker. All right, this is a big one. This is the main game world. So this is this and the other folders, accumulation of 10 years, I guess, from 89 to 2001 for AD&D for my world. Then I started shifting everything to computer at that point, right? But we have different countries, and I did close-up maps. You can see this is like the earliest computers from the early mid-90s, right? Most of my stuff was hand-drawn though. I don't know if you can see this. This is how I would hand draw cities. Yeah, these were like early Paint, MS Paint or something. Maps from probably around 93 or so, 94. More NPCs. This was in the 5-year campaign. The paladin of the group was able to establish an estate. In the present timeline, she's been missing for 20 years. No one has seen her. But that's the case with many of the major heroes from my world. Reda's Manor, there's the layout of her estate. So again, here we have more hand-drawn maps. This is from a celestial tower. In my campaign world, I have Sylvan elves, which are wood elves, and I have celestial elves, which are high elves. And the high elves live in these big palaces up in the mountains. And then here, this played a major part in my 5-year campaign, the Ruins of Sorrow, History of Sorrow. This was like a big deal in my campaign. It was this old cursed city. You can see all the work that would go into this stuff, all handwritten. And then this is, again, early computers, the dot matrix printers. And then I would do little hand-drawn pictures. I don't know if you can see that, of some of the stuff. I have many more folders, and this video could go on for hours. Well, I hope this has been useful to you, to help you, maybe inspire you, think about what you can do in creating your own world, homebrew. And if this kind of content interests you, please subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss future uploads. I have so many great videos planned for you all. Thank you again so much. This is Aten with We Love TTRPGs, and I will see you in the next video. All right, thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.